All right, guys, this is exciting. We've got Grant Horvat on the show here. Grant, welcome to the podcast, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. This is fun.
Absolutely. Needless to say, you've been a bit of a busy man these last couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah. There's been a lot. Super excited that I was able to spend some time in Florida. I've been actually there for the last 2 weeks. I just got back to Dallas for a little bit, but it felt so good to get in some warm weather. It's actually really cold here in Dallas, and just being able to go out every day, wake up, go hit balls, go film. It was amazing, and I missed it a lot.
I bet you're originally from Florida, right?
Yeah. So, I lived in Florida for we always had a house in Florida. We kind of go back and forth. When my dad was teaching in Michigan, we'd go back and forth. So half of the year I'd be in Jupiter, and then half of the year I'd be in Michigan when I was a kid. But yeah, I've always known the area, and I really got into like the whole Florida fishing, diving, and all that when I was young. So I've loved it for a long time.
I can imagine. So exciting to be back. And listen, lots of exciting stuff going on too. We've seen you do some incredible collabs recently. Everybody's from Bob Does Sports and Bryson DeChambeau, Christian Pulisic, which by the way, incredible. Just right after the World Cup, having him on your channel, that was just incredible to see. I want to dig into all that. I want to talk about like where we're going, what the future of your content is going to look like. But first, we've got to dive into some of the questions that everyone's been asking. What I've been so amazed with is that I feel like there are entire new podcast and YouTube channels that are popping up just devoted to conspiracy theories about you and what's been going on. So we want to try to dispel a few of those. And first, the big burning question everybody's asking, we got to ask it. Like, we heard you left Good just to launch that OnlyFans career. Is that it?
You got me, man. You caught me.
There you go. Put all the conspiracy theories to bed. We know what happened.
We'll put him to bed right there. But no, we can truthfully say that the live golf rumor, that's not true, right? You're not going to live. We won't see you.
Yeah, that
was a funny one.
I haven't seen, I haven't really listened to too many of the conspiracies. Like I'll be on like YouTube and I'll see a bunch of stuff pop up, but yeah, I haven't really listened to all the conspiracies. You guys probably know more about them than me.
Well, let's just say some of them get wild, and I'm sure we could file a top 10 list, but look, let's get serious for a minute. The big one that I've seen and has come up over and kind of over again is getting in this idea of like one of the aspects of the motivation to leave. And and I know there's a lot of stuff, and we want to be very respectful of that. There's a lot of stuff that I'm sure contractually, legally, whatever, that you can't talk about. So just kind of talking about what's public knowledge out there. Recently, it was on the Mr. Short Game podcast. The CEO of Good came on and was mentioning, and I guess they were surmising your reasons for leaving, and had mentioned that Good had some sort of deal in the works that was going to be launched, I guess, in January of this coming year. And as part of that, kind of alluded to the possibility that you might have been working on your own deal. So what that seemed was that maybe there was a financial conflict between the two of yours, and that's where that kind of decision was going. So we wanted to see, like, is there any truth to that? Did you have some sort of deal in place that conflicted with an upcoming deal that effectively the two groups weren't able to resolve, and that's why it went separate ways?
Yeah. You guys know, it was mentioned that January 3rd, there's going to be a big announcement. With that, yeah, when I was in Good, I never had outside deals that were like presenting themselves that were going to make me leave Good ever. You guys know, Good's the biggest channel right now in America. I'm not going to leave for an outside deal. Really all I want to speak on that is just, we were going in different directions, and that's okay. And, there's going to be stuff that's going to come up. And, since I've stepped away from Good, there's been a lot of deals that have presented themselves, and it's amazing. I'm super lucky. And, when I was in Good, I was also working, I saw one conspiracy that like I left for the shoe collab that I've been doing. And that's, that's something I've been working on for a long time, actually. That was like that started probably 8 months ago. We were just doing a collab with the all white shoes I'm going to release. But yeah, I mean, I feel like anything moving forward that I do or go forward with in a partnership might be seen as a conspiracy, but I can say, like, when I was in Good, there was like, I was not working on outside deals, and that's the reason I left.
Gotcha. And I think, again, just to kind of squash as many potential conspiracies or otherwise about this, what I'm hearing you're saying is that it ultimately boiled down, it was not a financial decision or weighing this versus that caused you to decide to kind of go on your own.
No, I mean, yeah, with Good was, I mean, they were great to me. I'm not mad at anyone in Good. They were super nice to me, especially, at the end. And it wasn't money because, like they said, they threw a lot at me. Yeah, just different directions.
Gotcha.
Hey Grant, the kitchen sink analogy. Can you tell us what the kitchen sink was?
Was it a Kohler? Was it
what kind of sink?
What kind of was the manufacturer of that sink?
What kind of faucet came
with it?
Yeah,
it was a customized golf cart. That's what it was.
Nice. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what. One other thing too, that a question that had come up, and it came out of that same interview with the CEO of kind of alluding to the idea that everyone in the group kind of had some sort of stake or equity or split in Good. Can you, and again, I know I'm walking a line because there's so much you can and can't say, but can you speak to that at all?
Yeah, that one's a tough one to speak on. I will say, for people, out there that have a lot of questions, me joining Good as the last person to come in, my situation looked very different than everyone else's. And that's truly all I want to say on that. It was just a whole different situation.
Yeah, honestly, Grant, it would blow my mind if I found out you had no equity in Good because it's just everything you've accomplished there and what you've done. So that's
also
case.
the many hats. I mean, because you were doing the Good channel, you were also doing the Good Labs channel. Yeah. So there was quite a few hats you were wearing over there. So again, I know there's certain things you can or can't speak to, but on our end, I would be shocked.
Yeah, I'd be shocked too.
Yeah, to hear no equity in it.
Yeah.
He's just gonna.
Let's just leave it there.
Just gonna leave it there. Okay.
Let's just move on from that one.
Sure.
But all right. So kind of trying to move a little bit forward. I think this is something that ultimately the vibe that I'm getting is you're looking to, at this point, just kind of move on and get on to the next thing. And again, it had to be addressed, at least asking some of those questions. But moving on to the next phase, what does that look like for you? So we talked about you moving back to Florida. It's Jupiter, correct?
Yeah. I'm going to be getting a place in Jupiter. Yeah. And I mean, with that comes collab opportunities that are going to be insane.
I mean, you might bump into Tiger Woods at Starbucks down there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, on the boat, when we're on the boat on the weekends, me and my uncle, like, I've seen Dustin Johnson all the time. I've seen a lot of pros out on the boat. I've seen Daniel Berger. And I know as time goes on, we're going to be putting together some really cool matches with all the different pros. And that's like one thing that I'm super excited for. Obviously, we have a lot in the works right now. And, I'm super excited about the future with my own brand and channel. Just in every aspect, I'm really, really excited about it.
Is there any chance in the near future we could see you collab with, I don't know, top 10 players in the world, even like that high up, like real Jupiter caliber, like you just said?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's like, it's a cool thing that I feel like with what we do for a living, when you go on and film with a pro, a PGA Tour pro, or anyone, even if they're smaller, like, there's a mutual benefit to both sides. I feel like if they're trying to grow their socials, I feel like we can help them, and we can help people see a different side to them. When I film with Bryson, I've seen a lot. He's gotten a lot of crazy comments in the past about him, and he's when you really just get to spend time with someone like Bryson, he's just a super nice guy, down to earth, and that I feel like the media just twists like the whole thing, and it's kind of sad. And I feel like we're able to show a different side to all the pros, and that's really cool. Just like them messing around, not in competition mode. And that's like what I feel like is the difference between what we do and what pros do. They're not sitting there talking to the camera. The camera's on them, but they're not talking to the people. And when we get them on the channel, we're able to actually like, interview them and see a different side of them.
So do you feel like, is that some part of what you personally enjoy most about creating YouTube content? Is that connection with the audience and being able to speak directly to them? Like, what is it that kind of like lights your fire when you turn on the camera?
Yeah. I mean, it's just different. Like I've said, it's just different because I feel like I'm talking to everybody watching, and like, I love to do teaching stuff. That's my true passion.
Mm-hmm.
But right now for these next, year, 2 years, I really enjoy just focusing on the content side and filming matches. I actually have something I'm planning to actually go film with Michelle Wee in California soon. And she's like kind of taking a break from golf, but I remember watching her growing up all the time. And that's like a super exciting one that I really, I'm looking forward to.
Growing up, did you ever even consider or dream of or think that this would happen, that you'd be playing with and collaborating with the people that you looked up to, as a young golfer?
Yeah. Cause for me, like golf's like my whole life. Like I don't really watch too many other sports. So I'm just watching golf like all the time. And all the people that I'm playing with are people that I like grew up watching. Like even just playing with Bryson the other day, like I grew up watching him so much on TV. He was on my TV all the time, and just being with him. And then, all the other people we filmed with, Luke Donald and different people, like it really is crazy. And yeah, like when you wake up every day, you just realize like how blessed you are. It's really cool.
That's wild. Listen, you mentioned earlier too, how much you enjoyed the instruction part of it. Mm-hmm. And, even me speaking personally, I think some of my favorite content that you've done was some of the stuff with like good labs and the instruction. So can we expect to see more of that coming back to your own personal channel? Will we see some instruction start to weave its way back in?
Yeah. I mean, filming with Christian Pulisic, that video, it's a funny thing. That was the first time I actually got to spend time with Christian. We've talked a lot. Before that, we've texted a lot, and we've always wanted to meet up. He has a place in Jupiter. But I didn't want to, that was a day where I just kind of wanted to interview him and just take it really easy. Like someone like him, I don't want to throw the camera in his face right away the day you meet him. So we played 6 holes before we even turned the cameras on. And we just tried to keep it very subtle, just having a conversation and stuff. But throughout that video, I noticed like when I'm able to help him with his swing, I feel like for people watching, it's like super cool. I feel like it's very easy for them to see the changes I'm making on Christian's swing and his game. And they can it's easier for them to learn, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. When they're watching me give him kind of a lesson live on his setup, for his driver, he was hitting down on it. We were trying to get him to hit up on it, like little things like that. I do want to go in that direction. I think it'd be really cool to bring on even different celebrities, movie actors, anything, and give them lessons, like live lessons on the course. That's how I would ultimately want to bring in my teaching content.
I see Mike over there chomping at the bit. Here's a guy who's like 12 degrees down on his driver. Yeah. He's like, give me some of that, right?
Yeah, I can't hit up if I try, Grant.
Yeah, no, I mean some pros do hit down on their drivers. There's actually a good bit out there. I think John Rahm does. I think Dustin Johnson does on TrackMan. They hit down a little bit on it, but like for the majority of people out there, when they're chopping straight down on it and it's going super low, you got to get them hitting up a little bit.
Dude, I'm racking my brain, Grant. I hit 170 on ball speed the other day and 115 club speed, but the ball went 276. So it was like, how do I get that extra 25 yards? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but on the teaching stuff, I mean, I got to think, I know you want to create more content around the instruction with celebrities. That's an awesome idea. But even away from the camera, I got to think kids ages 15 to 30 would line up around the block to take a lesson from you. Has the Grant Horvat Academy idea ever crossed your mind or anything like that?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, the amount of, emails, I read them all, the emails that I'm getting from from people that are saying, would love to take a lesson. I'll fly out. I see all that, and it does excite me, but I just know right now where I'm at, I really am focusing on just like the content side, because I do love the matches. Like I love being able to compete and play with different people, and the teaching I feel like is something I'm going to want to do. It could happen soon, or it could happen, a couple years from now. I just don't know the exact time frame on it.
Is there a match out there that you just want a piece of? Is there somebody out there that hasn't said yes to a match yet that you're just like, come on, I want to?
Yeah, I think the dream match, it would be hard, but I think getting Charlie on the channel would be really fun. Yeah. Honestly, like I watched a lot of the father-son tournament, and he actually seems like he's grown up, and he's got a sense of humor now. And, I know how Tiger probably has kept him away from the cameras, but that would be a really cool one. And you just never know, you got to have goals out there that are super, just far out there. And that's one of them. And I feel like you never know, and it could happen.
Well, as someone who's so well versed in the game, what's your outside looking in opinion on Charlie's progression and his swing?
Oh, I mean, I love it. It was unfortunate this week how he was hurt. I think it was like growing pains or something. And I grew like 8 inches in 1 year. So I know exactly what he's talking about in the ankles. Like I couldn't walk for like a month. It was awful. The same thing happened to me. So I know exactly what he's going through, but, his swing, I mean, like from an instructional standpoint, it is almost textbook. And I know he tried to emulate Rory's swing, but it is just so good, and positions wise, all that. It's crazy that, whoever was working on his swing, I think it's Justin Thomas's dad, that he's got him in these positions, this athletic move. It's nuts. It's beautiful to watch.
I think we're all excited to see what we're going to see, coming for him in the coming years. But anyway, just kind of getting back to it from your standpoint. I know obviously right now, as we started the interview talking about, the hot button issue has been the departure from Good, but ultimately you're very young. You've got a lot of career ahead of you. So going back to what you mentioned earlier, goals, what are some of the personal goals you're kind of setting for yourself? What can we look to see from you in the next couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, so right now I have some amazing stuff that's already transpired, and it's going to be coming out very shortly. And I think it's going to, once again, the whole conspiracies are going to be fired up again. But this recently just happened, and it's crazy that it's happening, and that's coming out very shortly, and you guys will see that. And that to me is one of probably the biggest things that could happen. And what's going to come along with that is some amazing opportunities with collabs and all that. So, yeah, I would say big collabs with pros is like, matches with pros, 2v2s with pros. That's the big thing I think that's going to be fun moving forward.
We got some massive stuff coming out of Camp Grant. I love it. Any time on that? Can you give us a date? Any month? Give us a month.
Yeah, no, January.
All right.
January.
It's
coming out January. I don't know the exact date, but January. I'll say that. There's some big news coming.
Okay.
That's great.
You'll just hit the mute button on those conspiracy theories, and for now, just kind of enjoy. It seems like you visibly excited and lit up over that opportunity. So yeah, I'm excited to see what it's going to be.
Yeah, it gets me going each day. I mean, it's crazy to think about. And I'm just super excited for it. That's all I can say.
I got to ask, is there any aspect of you that's still like, when you do get to this phone call to collab with some of these pros, as we talk about, that you grew up watching, is there some nerves? Like we talk about like first tee jitters, like just playing with these pros. Like, is it just like pure excitement, or are you nervous?
No, I for sure. So, I mean, when I first started doing YouTube and everything, like playing with pros, that really, it got me nervous in the beginning, but I kind of learned like over that period of time, just spending time with all of them. They're just normal guys and they're just extremely good at golf. And I don't know. I don't feel it, I guess, the nerves as much as I used to. And that's just, being in the space and meeting all the pros. It's like, they're just normal guys. And I did get, like, when I was with Bryson, I only met Bryson once before we played our match. Like, yeah, I was like, this is crazy. I was a little nervous. But yeah, you get over it. And I think if I played in front of Tiger or someone, or like, I think Justin Thomas, Rory, Ricky, any of those guys, I would be nervous for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's still a few that definitely would dial up those nerves just a bit. Well, listen, now we're just going to be waiting with bated breath till we get that Charlie collab. Can't wait to see it. Hopefully one day that's the big announcement. That would be something. You would definitely light the internet on fire for a bit with that one. So we're excited to see it. Yeah. But listen,
and
man,
I think living in Jupiter, I think that things like that will happen. So I'm super excited.
And hey, Grant, before we let you go, because there's another thing that people are asking a lot about is, could we ever see you collab with those guys again? Or is it just at this point you've moved on, your sights are set on something completely different and those days are over? Any Garrett collabs or things like that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I personally, like, I have nothing against anyone in Good. I'm super grateful for all of them, and I'm not mad at anyone, like, on my end. And I would, down the road, I would love to, come back potentially for like a video or playing a major or do something. Like, that's something that's not like completely off the radar for me. But we'll see as time goes on what all happens.
Well, excellent. Well, hey man, listen, good luck on everything you got coming up. It sounds like you're a busy guy, and I'm stoked for you, man. I'm stoked.
We appreciate you taking time to talk to us today. And like I said, we're very excited to see what comes out in January. And we'll be looking for some big things, as I said, out of Camp Grant in the coming week. So thanks for coming on the show, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you again soon.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me on.